This is Ling Chi, brush painting for beginners. Today we're going to demonstrate a very fun subject is the bird of kingfisher. If you check there are so many variety of colors that you can paint from, and also it's a subject that if you know what kind of paper to use, what equipment to use, will be very easy for beginners. But if you choose the wrong paper, and then you will struggle. So I'm going to explain to everything very detailed to you. Because majority unsized Shuen paper has a tendency very difficult to control the moisture. So when you try to do the bird beak and the eyes, you have to struggle. We will talk about use unsized paper at another time. Today we're going to use the size paper and for Gong-bi style, but then we don't do exactly the same as the Gong-bi style, which is very labor intensive. So I'm kind of modified for the beginners, so it's not so overwhelming. So I'm using the sized Shuen paper in our collection. Is the shimmering paper. Is one of my favorite paper. And you know, like a lot of media, like a watercolor and things like that, you do a sketch before you start painting. But because the rice paper is so fragile, if you use some of the artists use charcoal, but then it's also difficult to erase the dark line. So what I did is that I use thin rice paper. I drew my bird with a permanent marker. So then this way I will have something like a sketch to guide me, but then without having to draw on this fragile rice paper. So I'm putting my sketch underneath my sized paper, and now I start doing my line work. The first brush I'm using is our best line work for Fineline style, which is the red feather. And there are different sizes. They all have a pretty good tip for it. So it just depends on how much ink you want to hold. You can choose small, medium, large. And then I start doing a very simple sketch on how to do this bird. So I start with the beak. And then this is my beak. Then I'm going to do his eye, which I tried at different times. Is amazingly how close the eye to the bird beak is. So that's number one thing. You realize the bird eyes is very close to the beak. So I'm drawing with straight ink to get the eyes. And then I use a little bit lighter ink to finish my beak. And then I do the crown of the bird very lightly, light ink. The face of the bird now is forming. Now it's the chin. And then I'm doing very light ink again for its wing. So because I have the drawing underneath, so it's real easy for me not to get out of the hand. And then this is the body of the bird. And then I'm using a little bit darker ink for the claw. So this is a little claw behind it. And then I will follow it up with the tail of the bird. And then I'm going to draw a block that the bird is standing up. So this bird is already in kind of the shape you know what to do. So in your case, I wait it completely dry before I start using the color. So I did some ahead of time, and then we'll use those. I think I use this one. Now I'm using the bright light color for my bird. And you can use your other watercolor. And then this particular bird, the only thing I don't like the bright light is the blue is not cobalt enough. So if you have some nice watercolor has cobalt, then when I did the blue part, then that's what I would do. But bright light is on the budget side, so for my beginners, I assume that's what easier for you too. So I load my brush with stone green and tip it with sky blue, and then I blend. Oh gosh, I forgot I had white there. So I start over. And then sky blue, and I blend. Again, stone green, a little bit sky blue. So this is the crown of the bird. So I already have kind of simple sketch on it. So then I will use a brush, a clean brush. Just kind of pull the color a little bit so it has light to dark. And I have a paper towel on the side to pick up any extra color I have. Okay. And then I rinse the brush I'm using is our flow brush. Then I will use a bright blue to do the I'm using a clean brush to wash it. So it's not a whole block of blue. And then in the middle, when I go to the tail part, then I add strong blue again. a little crease on the paper, so I can clean it up like that. So I'm doing the stomach of the bird and then connect it with the light. So I have a mid yellow. Load the mid yellow first, and I load the burnt sienna. Load more burnt sienna. So the face, I also have a little bit yellow here. So I use a clean brush to pull a little bit yellow on the side of the brush. So it's like this bird's fuzzy hair. So soften the bird body up a little bit. And on the cloth, I have some leftover red. I'm going to show up the cloth a little bit more. And then also my beak. And then I have bleed-proof white, which is come in this jar. And use a small brush. Today I'm using Happy Dot. You can use your Happy Dot or any small brush you have. And then I'm doing the dots on the bird's head, the crown. So this is kind of important to show the colorful of the and the yellow kind of took over a little bit of my beak, so I'm going to trace it back a little bit. All right, and then this is block that the bird is standing up on. So I have one of my Twig Brush. So I'm using a little bit burnt sienna with a little white. And then with a little ink. And then it's almost dry. I want to show you a little bit more feather on the bird. I hope that it's dry. So I might just add a little bit on the wing of the feather. So this is my kingfisher.